Okay. So every step in the meeting is important. And God, why am I struggling with this so much? Okay. Every step in the meeting is important in the process and contributes. Okay. So every step in the weekly meeting is super important in the process and will help you create an effective rhythm. So let's dig into the 90-minute framework and see how your team can maximally be effective in this process and in this meeting every single week. So let's dig in. We're going to review the weekly agenda so you can become familiar with the flow of the meeting, and you will notice that each section has a time limit. This is important to note. At first, you may find it challenging to keep each section and meeting within those time constraints, but as you practice, you will soon figure out that rhythm and you will become more effective, and you will be able to go through and share all of the important things within that set time frame. The majority of the meeting is preserved for discussing the most pressing opportunities for the organization and determining the next steps to accomplishing your priorities. So again, it is critical that not only you start on time, but you also end on time. Going over on this meeting time or any other really interferes with your team's other commitments and responsibilities. So creating logistical difficulties and could create these logistical difficulties and potential hard feelings. So choose a timekeeper who can kindly but firmly ensure that the team is adhering to the timeframes. And so we're going to go ahead and start to read the agenda and the flow of the weekly. And so you can go ahead and in your flight manuals on page 15, we will start. Who would like to read first? Sure, that would be great, Edson. Thank you so much. Highs and lows, 5 minutes. This is one sentence headline about each noteworthy positive or negative event or activity that happened within the last week. These are both personal and professional. Even though this segment is only a brief portion of the weekly, much is accomplished in knowledge sharing and trust building. So, the purpose of the highs and lows is to foster relational connectivity between the leaders in this room. It's so important. Even though these are just one-liners, they really do help you to connect to one another and build on that relationship. And so, for example, our family saw Hamilton last week and we were blown away, or we had to put our dog down yesterday. Sharing these personal highs and lows will come naturally to some team members and might be a little more challenging to others. And if you share, you get to lead. If you share openly, you get to lead by example. So over time, you will create an environment where all team members can feel safe to be their authentic and transparent self. And that's super important. And so the purpose of the professional highs and lows is to share important organizational bits of information so everyone is in the know. Professional highs and lows could be about things that are happening internally, or even about a client, about a donor, about a volunteer, about anybody else regarding and related to the organization. A professional high about a donor might be Sandra Jones just became a first-time donor in her 10,000 initial gift. A professional low about a donor might be Jake Smith was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer, and we are gathering tomorrow to pray for him. So these are examples of information related to the organization that the executive leadership team should be in the loop about. Is there any questions? Yeah. So in this section, it's a really good question. In this section, you don't really discuss or give feedback. You just kind of share, and then within that sharing, you're building trust, and then you get to move on. Yeah. And that's why it's really important that discussion is not really had, because we really want to stick within those 5 minutes. Yeah. Yeah. And if there is something we need to discuss, especially the professional highs, we can always drop that down to opportunities and next steps. Okay. Great. So can someone read the focus time? Sure. Focus time, 5 minutes. Someone leads the team in a meditation, motivational reading, prayer, or time of silence. This could be as simple as playing a pre-recorded meditation using a popular app, saying a prayer, or even reading a poem. Yeah. So this is where focus time is really an opportunity where we shift our mindset and our perspective from working in the organization to working on the organization. It allows us to just take a deep breath and figure out just a time of silence. And so every single week, this could look different. Sometimes you could say a prayer. Sometimes you can use an app, just like I shared. Sometimes it could be a more intentional thing. Edit. But focus time. Edit. Focus time is truly an opportunity for team members to shift from working on the organization to working in the organization, because there's so many things you can do in this small but mighty section. And so oftentimes we find that switching off who leads this is really effective and allows everyone to feel like they're contributing, and it looks so different. And there's a variety of activities or things you can do in this section. Like we mentioned, sometimes using an app to bring on a meditation or doing some deep breathing exercises. It just gives you a time to just sit back and just be present in the moment. And it helps you just have a calmness, and it lowers our emotional thermometer for the meeting and is very much an important step in the process. Are there any questions? Awesome, no questions. Great. Who would like to read next? Thank you. Scoreboard review, 5 minutes. Each accountable team member reads their number and states on track or off track. So as mentioned above, and as we talked about during the scoreboard allows you and the team to track all of the key metrics that we have designed as an important leading indicator for our organization on a weekly basis. So like the scoreboard in a sporting event, you will be able to see how the organization is performing at a quick glance. And again, there's no discussion about the reporting. You simply state on track or off track. And this indicates whether or not this key metric is on track or off track for completion by the end of the quarter. And what's really important, that if there is an opportunity here that we do need to talk, we can bring that down to opportunities and next steps and add that there. And for example, if a scoreboard metric, we can just skip. Hello, skip. So I know that currently you guys haven't decided yet what software you want to use. Monday.com is one that we recommend and one that we give you a template, and super, super easy to use and highly effective. But I understand that you guys want to figure out what works for your team and your organization. And so whichever software you use, make sure that the summary column of each metric can be easily read and you can identify, are you on track or off track? And that's super important. Any questions about the scoreboard? Okay, awesome. So let's go ahead and we can move on to the W3s. Who would like to read that section? Thank you. The W3s, what, who, when? 5 minutes. 1 sentence commitments made by team members that are due within the next 7 to 14 days. In addition to concisely stating what must be done, the accountable team member who is listed and the due date. If the commitment is off track, the accountable team member updates the date The task will be completed. If any discussion is needed, drop this down to opportunities next steps. Yeah. So the list of commitments. Thank you so much for reading, Mariah. Mariah, thank you so much for reading the W3s. So we know that this list of commitments is a running to-do list.